Hey everybody. So there's been a lot of talk lately about different types of theisms within paganism, and what those theisms are. And a lot of people have said before. In fact, I got into a big argument once with a friend about whether or not soft polytheism was actually monotheism. And I think there's a fundamental difference between soft polytheism and monotheism. Soft polytheism is basically the belief that all gods come back to, one god, and all goddesses come back to a goddess. And some people take it further than that and say that there's one divine source. But I always looked at the one divine source thing as being kind of a compilation. I'll give you an example, okay? Um, when we look at like an audience, right? Say that there's a play going on, and on this play, there's a stage and everything like that, and people come to see the play, and as they file into the room, they become the audience, okay, which is one thing. But really, within the audience, there is several different people who have different agendas and different ideas, and they're talking together, and sometimes they don't agree, and sometimes they do agree, but they're all part of the audience. Okay, this concept to me is what the divine source thing is. Okay, so it's not really that they're all the same being. It's just that when they all come together as one thing, they can all congrue, and be one source, but they're not essentially always one source. They then can, disagree and have conflict with each other because we see that in nature all the time, right? There's creation and destruction, In order for progression to happen, there needs to be two things working against each other in order for, like a ball to roll down a hill, for example. So, if we look at it from that perspective, there has to be always two. And when I was a Wiccan, even, I never believed in the whole one divine source thing. I couldn't really find anything historical on it, and it just didn't make sense to me. So I don't think that all soft polytheists believe that. I think that, to a point, it's more like I said, like, the audience analogy, where it all comes together at some point, but then, of course, it also disperses into several things that, work with and against each other. So that's my take on soft polytheism and why it's not like monotheism. But, there's probably other arguments against why it's not like monotheism either. If you listen to Reverend Don, for example, he'll say that, the main difference is that, monotheism recognizes one face of deity, where soft polytheism recognizes many faces. Faces are like masks of deity. So that's it too, as for me, I'm a hard polytheist. I believe that that all the gods are their own separate beings. But I'm just trying to give an analogy for those people who may not understand it completely. All right, thanks, and blessed be.